Welcome back to Cold Ones with Marc and Matty Ice discussing the NFL playoffs. Going to the AFC side, getting right to it. On Saturday, the late game, 8 o'clock start. Baltimore heads into Indianapolis. Indianapolis, a 7-point favorite. A lot of questions surrounding Indianapolis.
Same kind of Saints questions.
They
rest their starters
on their own whim just decided not to go undefeated. Didn't want to do it. Have thoroughly said it wasn't one of their goals to go undefeated.
Peyton Manning won the MVP from the sideline.
He won it from the sideline. So, they haven't played in a little bit. 7-point favorites against Baltimore. These teams, Indianapolis and Baltimore, have played every year. They've also played in the playoffs a couple times. Every time they've played, the game has been close. Baltimore's defense knows how to play against Indianapolis. If you look at the game earlier in the year, I believe it was 17-15
yeah.
Colts. The Ravens couldn't take advantage of their opportunities in the red zone and in plus territory. Kicked 5 field goals. They're going to have to do better than that to win this game at the Drum. So, who you taking, Matty Ice?
Here's the thing. As much as people love Peyton Manning, nobody ever seems to want to bet on him.
I disagree. I think if the Colts are playing on a Monday night or a Sunday night and you're down a couple G's and you want to get even, you're probably betting on Indianapolis. I think the exact opposite. I think a lot of people bet on Indianapolis just because it's Peyton Manning and you can't bet against them.
That being said, you're taking the Ravens?
I bet against the Colts all the time and they don't cover all the time.
I just think that as much stock as people put in Peyton Manning, I think a lot of his drawbacks are the people around him. Not a lot of confidence in that defense all the time. They've shown they're up and down. But you got Dwight Freeney and Mathis, two of the best ends in the league. To pressure Flacco. I think 7's a little high. I do think that's a little high. So if I was going to go against the spread, I think I'm going to take Baltimore. But again, Colts are going to win the game. I don't think you can. Baltimore's a tough team to bet against right now, but the only people that you'd think could be able to beat them is Peyton Manning.
So in both 7-point games, you're going with the underdog to cover, but the favorite to win.
Yes, I'm thinking tight games. Tight games all weekend.
I'm going to go, Baltimore, a lot of good things, a lot of bad things. Here's the good things. Ray Rice is turning into one of the best running backs in the league.
Absolutely.
The Colts are prone, have struggled against running teams in the past, like the Jacksonvilles, like the Baltimores, like the Miamis, who will run the ball, control the clock, and keep Peyton Manning off the field. For Baltimore to win, Joe Flacco is going to have a better game than 30 yards passing against the Patriots. He's going to have to step up. I don't know what the deal is with his hip. He's not on the injury report. He was obviously limping all game against New England last week. He's going to have to step up and make some throws. Get Mason involved. Throw to Ray Rice out of the backfield. Do what you got to do. Get him in a rhythm. Make some plays in the air. Set up the run and control the clock. And the Ravens can pull the upset. I think 7's way too much. The average margin of victory for the Colts against the Ravens has to be 3, maybe 4, maybe less. I'm going with Baltimore to cover this spread plus the 7, and they have a shot at winning the game if they do what I just said. Follow the keys to the game for the Baltimore. Establish the run it down the Colts' throat, have ball control, keep Peyton Manning on the sidelines, and the last will be get Joe Flacco involved. Joe Flacco needs to be a part of this game. He needs to get in rhythm. With that being said, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, come to the party, do what you got to do.
I think we saw last week that Baltimore has a pretty good read on a lot of these teams that they played a lot. They just dismantled the Patriots. Absolutely dismantled the Patriots. They knew what was coming at them. Peyton Manning is a great changer. He's mid-game adjustments. I think it's a really tough game to call because Flacco has been up and down. I think if obviously they're going to run the ball, but if Flacco can't make certain plays, I think that's going to be their downfall. And I think it's going to be a close game. I think 7's really high, but I still think Peyton Manning, the crafty vet, one of the best, is going to find a way to win the game. So, on to the next game, the 4 o'clock game on Sunday. Pitch the Chargers against Mark's beloved, absolute favorite, best quarterback in the league, New York Jets.
Matt obviously being sarcastic as well known. I bet against the Jets, saying that Mark Sanchez wasn't experienced enough, wasn't good enough to win a playoff game by passing the football, and he did. He did a pretty good job. Didn't make any mistakes.
One Braylon Edwards touchdown short of a perfect rating.
Threw a dime to Braylon Edwards.
Dropped.
About 50 yards. He dropped it. He proved some things, you know. I'll own it. I'll eat it. He proved me wrong. With that being said, the Chargers' offense is too good. Phillip Rivers, he's cold-blooded. He wants to win more than anything. You know, he's a winner. He does what he has to do. He makes the tough throws. Seems to be at his best when the game's on the line. The Jets' defense, while they are good at stopping the run, San Diego, a team that doesn't really run the ball at all. They rely on their passing attack. Now you talk about Jets, Darrelle Revis, best cornerback in the league.
Revis Island.
Revis Island. Okay, he's going to take care of Jackson. Who's going to take care of Antonio Gates? Jim Leonard, you know, all 5'8" of them, whatever, 5'10" of Jim Leonard. Antonio Gates is 6'5", 6'7". He's an animal. They don't have a guy who can cover Gates. On the other side, who's going to cover Malcolm Floyd? The Jets, Darrelle Revis is good against a team who has an Andre Johnson, who has a Randy Moss when Welker is out. Teams that rely on one big play receiver to make plays. The Chargers are the exact opposite. They have so many weapons all over the field. Revis can take care of Jackson. Okay, pick your poison. If you take care of Jackson, we're going to throw it to Gates. We're going to throw it to Tomlinson out of the backfield. We're going to throw it to Floyd. So there's other factors besides Darrelle Revis.
Absolutely, and I think that the Jets' other role players on defense, they've done a good job leading them to the best defense in the league. But another weapon the Chargers have is Sproles out of the backfield,
right.
Pass catching, returning. The Jets are going to have their hands full. Is Mark Sanchez going to have to pass more than 15 times? Probably. He's to win this game. So this is going to be not like this Cincinnati game where he could rely on a lot of other things. This is going to be the game where he is really put to the test that proves his mettle. What's the spread, Mark?
The spread is San Diego's favored by 8 points.
8 points. You know what I'm doing? I'm going with the Jets. I'm going with the underdog, and I don't think San Diego's going to win, though. I'm picking the Jets to win the game. They're going to at least cover the spread, but I'm going to pick the Jets to win the game.
You're going out on a limb and picking the Jets to win this game.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I admire the courage. I admire, going out there and taking an 8-point underdog to win the football game.
You lose 100% of the chips you don't put in.
But here's the thing. They say you can't lose what you don't put in the middle, but you can't win much either. But here's the thing. I'm sorry to ruin your hopes. San Diego is going to win this game, and they will cover the spread. They will win by double digits. There's no way the Jets can keep up with them. I mean, everybody's making a big deal out of the Jets because they beat the Bengals twice in a row. The Bengals aren't a very good offense. Carson Palmer averaged not even 200 yards a game. They struggled offensively. They really relied on the run, and the Jets are run stoppers. Benson looked pretty good against a team that's supposed to be a run stopper. The Chargers are pass-oriented. We talked about the reasons why they won't be able to stop the offense of the Chargers. Chargers' offense is too good, an up-tempo team against a very... if we're talking about an analogy to basketball, the Chargers are up-tempo and the Jets are half-court. It's like Yale... The Jets are Yale, and San Diego is North Carolina. North Carolina is going to run, and could Yale keep up with the transition? If the Chargers put up 30, do you think the Jets can put up 30?
Absolutely not. But that's why I'm relying heavily on that Jets defense.
That's right. So I'm going with the Chargers to win the game by double digits and to cover the spread. If the Chargers could win by triple digits, I would put it this way, if the spread in this game was 17, I'd still take the Chargers. I'm going with the Chargers 38 and the Jets 14.
Okay, I like the Jets to win. I like the Jets to win 17-14. That's my lock of the week there, my upset lock of the week. And to recap, I'm going to go with the Jets, and I'm going to go with the Ravens to cover, with the Colts to win.
I'm going with the Ravens to cover, possibly win, and I'm going with San Diego to win in rout fashion.